So I've kind of been putting off this audio recording for a while now, but anyway, my first social platform was an app called Skinseed. Um, and I kind of got actually pretty big on there, like without advertising, without any of that. And it's such a weird thing to think about because I look at my Twitter and my Instagram now, and I see that engagement on Skinseed was so much easier because I could talk to people on there. I made a lot of friends through there. They're my closest friends to this day. And then you look at Twitter and Instagram, and on Twitter, I don't get much engagement because I'm a very small account. So it's not comparable to my Instagram in any way because my Instagram is quite bigger. But the engagement is still easier. And it's so weird to think about because I spend so much time on that fucking skin making app. Like, what was I doing with my life? But back onto like the topic of engagement and growth. The way I actually grew my Instagram was participating in Mermaid last year because I had to make a new Instagram account because I didn't want my dad following it. And so I was trying to balance that and the end of my 8th grade year, and it was really fucking difficult because, like, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna pass the end of this year, and I'm also trying to make a painting every single day, and it's really hard. But after that, I think it was in August, I had to take a month-long break from art because I started getting carpal tunnel in my wrist and school was about to start and I just could not have that happening. So Instagram decided to tank everything for me. And ever since then, my Instagram has been kind of on a downward spiral unless I make fan art. And it's really fucking funny. But like art is such a thing for me. I love doing it. And I've been enrolled in art classes since 6th grade, I believe. Like, seriously. And the fact that I do get engagement on Instagram, it's not much, but it is engagement, is so weird to me. Like, to this day. Because I started the Instagram account I use today when I was in an advanced art class in 8th grade. I was, like, halfway through my year. My teacher was really shitty. So it was like, ooh, what do I do? I need a place to get out the art that I actually want to do. Because she gave us a lot of freedom to create. That was something she was actually pretty good at. Which is something that my studio teacher this year is not too good at. We don't get much creativity and freedom to do like what we want. Her grading system's really weird. And I honestly kind of miss my shitty 8th grade teacher, not gonna lie. And so I started posting my art to Instagram more. I started posting my acrylic paintings. And I don't do acrylic painting that much anymore because it's really time consuming and I don't have the time to do that because I recently started going back to in-person school. And so it does take a lot of my time. But, like, and I was fine with the very little likes I was getting. I posted a painting of a lake that I grew up around, and it popped off a little bit. It was kind of big. It was the biggest thing I had on my account, and I was really happy about it. And so I continued posting art, right? And then May hit. May of 2020, the fateful, like, month that my Instagram was like, I'm gonna like you today. You're gonna get like 200 followers in a fucking month. I was in shock. I got like 200 plus followers actually that month, and it was crazy. And then, like, that's why it's so hard for me to not look at numbers, because I'm like, is it gonna happen again? Am I actually gonna be able to make a career out of my art? Which every day I think is less and less possible because, you know, Instagram fucking hates my ass for some reason. So I don't know what my career future is going to be. But, like, and the thing is, when I went, like, to fully being on Instagram, I had just come off of Amino. And if you've ever used Amino, you know what that means. The way Amino works is, like, when a new person joins the Amino you're posting to, if you've posted recently, there's an automatic thing where it's like, oh, you want to follow all of these people? Oh, you want to like all of these posts? And you can skip that, but most people don't. So, like, the likes are artificial. No one ever checks their following feed on Amino. That's just a thing. I know I didn't. I scrolled through the recents page. That was it. I did the same thing on Skidseed. I didn't check my following feed. Whereas Instagram, that's kind of like you're looking at your following feed. That's the first thing you're seeing. And that's why it's kind of hard to not look at numbers, because I was so used to getting like a lot of likes, even if most people weren't actually seeing my art. I got decent engagement, and it was really cool. That was the thing I liked, but like, it's not that I like that about Amino. That it's just it's a bit of an iffy way to go about it, because you're getting this false sense of security that people really like your art, and then when you and it's so hard to transfer people over platforms, because like I have a couple friends from Amino that followed me over to Instagram, and like I may not interact with them very often, but they're there, and it's really nice to know that they did follow me over and that they do see my posts. It's really fucking cool. But the thing about that app is that it gave me such a false sense of security, and it made it really hard when I moved over, like, fully to Instagram, because my transition over to Instagram was so slow, and it took so long for me to fully be on Instagram, and then I'm slowly transitioning to Twitter, that it didn't really affect me that much. The seeing numbers change constantly wasn't affecting me that much, and then it did, because I was getting on average over 100 likes per post in Mermay of 2020, which was fucking insane for an account as small as mine. Like, now I get barely 10% of my following seeing my posts. It doesn't get pushed on tags, unless it's certain fan art. Like, this morning, when I'm recording this, I posted a drawing of Sniff, which, if you didn't know, I'm in the Minecraft YouTube community, and I watch Snifferish, like, a lot, and it hasn't reached anybody, which is really sad, because I was up till 3 a.m. just drawing, and no one's really gonna see that, which is what sucks about Instagram, because it doesn't push it half the time to even 10% of your following. And most of my following doesn't look at my stories. So it's kind of like, not many people are going to see that. Not many people see my posts now. I know some of my fan art, the creators that I'm drawing fan art of, they see it, and it makes me really happy that they do. And that's cool. But my account doesn't grow from that. And especially those people that follow you expecting a follow back because they think you're follow for follow, and then they just unfollow like a day later, or even less than a day later sometimes. Those people can go fuck themselves, because especially if you do it to a small creator, because like that's just such a fucking dick move. I don't understand why you would do that. I never did follow for follow in my life. Never. On any social media. Because I was just like, nope, people are going to use me for that, and I don't want to do it. And so that's kind of what I was like. And, God, the internet is such a weird place to post art. It doesn't really do much. And, Amino is actually the reason I'm super hesitant to even attempt moving over to Artful. Because, like, is that going to end up the same way? Because I went to Amino from DeviantArt. So it was like, oh, Amino's going to be so much better than DeviantArt. But is Artful going to be any better than Amino? Is it going to be any better than Instagram? Because Amino was marketed towards people who wanted to get involved in fandoms. It was marketed a lot towards artists, certain Aminos were. yeah, they had a lot of rules, but those rules were actually quite helpful in my eyes. They were really good. But the question is Artful going to be like that for me? Is it going to happen again? And I really don't want it to happen again. I'm going to be honest. It's just not something that I really want to do again, because it gave me such a false sense of security. And then fully transitioning off of Amino kind of made me realize I don't get as much engagement as I thought I did. Like, and then there's the fact of school, and the fact that I have taken an advanced art class and a studio class, and neither of which have been worth it at all. I've had shitty teachers for the past 2 years, and it sucked ass. Because advanced art in middle school was, like, my old art teacher branded it towards me, because she was like, yeah, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to get into the advanced class for high school. And that, in turn, is going to make it a lot easier for you to get into the upper level art classes in high school as well. And so I was like, yeah, I don't want to be in 8th grade art with a bunch of people who aren't going to pay attention. I don't want that again. So I applied and I got in. And then I applied for studio. Proceeded to get in. But most of the studio class wasn't actually people who had applied for studio. Which is fucked up. Because I know a lot of people who applied for studio. I know a lot of people who also didn't. But it just ended up not being worth it this year. Because we haven't had any freedom. We were all so used to this freedom of expression and medium. And we don't get that anymore. Like, our expectations were so fucking high. And then our art teacher also left like a month in or so. And doubling that with it being COVID, it's fucked all of us up, really. Like, I really want my early middle school art teacher back. That woman was my saving grace. She taught me so much, and it's why I haven't learned anything in the past 2 years, because I learned so much from her that I have learned nothing new from these two teachers. And like, my plans for the future are to hopefully do at least an art course in college, if not minor in it, and hopefully the hope is to major in it. That's a pretty big hope. That's a really fucking big hope, and I know that, but like, God, I want to do it so bad. I want to make my career art so badly. And like, I want to do freelance. I don't actually have PayPal though, so I can't. As well as the fact that, you know, not many people see my art. It'd be a bit hard to get customers. I do so badly want to do that though. That does seem really fucking cool. My future in my career does not actually look the most promising at the moment though. God, I post to YouTube once every couple months. I mean, I'm here now, but like, how long is this gonna continue, really? How long am I gonna keep this up? It never seems to be very long. But there is so much about the art community that is kind of like, it's a bit iffy. And there's so much about art that's like, oh, wow, this is, my parents were right, this is a hard career opportunity. And especially for such small accounts, it's so hard to grow an art account. Those videos about art tips, they are not the most helpful things you can get. Like, I don't even know how to explain it outright. But like, artist supports on Twitter too. On Twitter, they're better than on Instagram because you can show your art. They can see your art before they go. And it just makes it so much better because people are seeing your art and they're not relying on your comments wording to see that. And it's really fucking cool. I've entered a couple artist supports on Twitter and with like pieces I really enjoyed making, and they actually got kind of big. Like the posts actually got a decent amount of likes. They got likes that rivaled my Instagram likes, actually. Despite me having 14 followers on Twitter and nearly 400 on Instagram, which is so fucking hilarious to me. And I don't know why. But there is... God, I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but this is just how I fucking am, man. I remember, I think, I tried to plug my art Instagram, actually, on Skinseed. Last time I posted skin, like, 6 months ago. Not many people carried over, but some people did, and that was really cool. Not many people actually see my skins on Skinseed anymore. I get notifications for it, though. Which is hilarious, because I get notifications for an app I no longer use. It's the same with Amino. I'll get notifications for an app I no longer use, and it's fucking hilarious. And then there's Twitter and Instagram, where I get no notifications for, because the two apps hate my ass. But on the topic of, like, Twitter and Instagram, I kind of want to start posting more to TikTok. But the thing is, I draw all in one go. There's not really much for me to do in terms of filming a TikTok. That's why I also don't post art videos that often, because, like, there's not much interesting that goes on. I don't record the audio, and I was considering Twitch streaming, but then I remembered I break down at the slightest bit of pressure, and I really don't like figuring out new softwares. Like, I downloaded Audacity before recording this. I'm not using Audacity. I'm using voice memos on my phone to film this. So, like, if that doesn't show how fucking lazy as hell I am, I don't know what does. I don't know what constitutes being lazy as hell at this point. Other than the way I make art, I know that constitutes as lazy as hell sometimes. Because, like, my paintings and my sketchbooks, I could be doing those on better paper, but I'm not. Because I'm too lazy to go across my room and grab the watercolor pad of paper, or grab drawing paper, or grab a piece of wood that's been sitting on the other side of my room for months now, waiting to have a painting. I just don't do it. I'm not fucking lazy, man. I just don't. I don't leave my chair, which isn't a good thing, because I'm in color guard next year, and my legs and arms are just gone. They don't exist, which is really fucking hilarious to me. And even my digital art is a bit lazy, I'm gonna be honest. I mainly do sketches. I don't do line art. I hate line art. It always looks bad because of my style. It just doesn't make any sense to do line art. My style, it fits a lot better with a sketchy vibe. Line art just is not something I like, and I want to do lineless, but I just can't figure it out. And I'm watching painting tutorials, actually, and I still can't figure it out. I don't know what it is about it. But I'm off the topic of, like, social media platforms, so I'm gonna circle back around to that by mentioning DeviantArt again. I posted on DeviantArt for, like, maybe a month, and then I got locked out of my account again. I have 3 DeviantArt accounts. I got locked out of every single one of them, and that's actually fine. I don't care. DeviantArt is a hellscape, let's be honest. And also Tumblr. I have Tumblr. I don't use it, but I have it, and I've posted art there before. I'm just gonna let that awkward silence stay, because, God, I used Tumblr to post my arts. I don't know if that's shameful or not, but to me it is, and it's just, oh God. Yeah, that's Tumblr for you, right? What other social media platforms have I used? Hold on, let me think. I used to post YouTube videos on an old channel that I've since deleted. I also deleted most of my videos on this channel. But yeah, I did post YouTube videos that were, like, not very good. And now I have better YouTube videos. Hopefully including this one if I actually, like, edit this down and record it. And, well, I'm recording it right now, but edit it down and post it. I actually don't know what I'm doing for the background of this. I don't know how to do it. my limitations in terms of technology are very much in existence. Like, my friend Aniket and his girlfriend, they post slowed music on his YouTube channel so she can listen to it while she draws. And I'm just there like, how the fuck do you do that? I can't even figure out how to edit on, like, it took me so long to learn how to edit on Windows Movie Maker. I'm so bad at technology, bro. It's bad. That's why I don't post to YouTube. It's also why I don't post to TikTok, because I have no clue how to use it. I didn't get it until, like, this time last year. I avoided it for such a long time, saying, like, oh, it's cringe. No. I spend all my time on there. I waste my life away, bro. It's not bad, trust me. It's fine. But, like, I don't post to YouTube that often because of that technological limitation. And the thing is, I want my YouTube to do well. I've had a sketchbook tour that I've been waiting to film for about 6 months now, actually. My sketchbook 11 tour. And then there's my sketchbook 12 tour that I've been waiting to post, like, actually film for a month. And I just haven't filmed either of those, or, like, let alone edited anything for them. Like, I've also archived a lot of the drawings in them that were posted to Instagram, because I like archiving my posts quite often. It's something I like doing, and I'm not sure why. I don't need to do it, but I do. And it's just, I should film those, but instead I'm sitting here in my crappy IKEA desk chair talking about social media and talking about how much I fucking hate it, despite me wanting to make it my career. Like, I don't want to go into animation. I took color guard for next year because I don't want to do graphic design. Like, I'm taking painting next year, so I don't know if you can, like, tell what art medium I like the most, but, it's definitely not graphic design. I can tell you that right off the fucking bat. And I also don't like animation. It just doesn't interest me in any way. Like, it's not something I want to do. And my parents want me to do it so bad. They want me so badly to go to graphic design and animation, and I don't have the patience for animation. I barely have the patience to film a YouTube video and edit it. I'm an impatient motherfucker. And graphic design is just something I don't see much interest in it. I can paint digitally, but I cannot do a logo. I tried to do a insignia for a character design thing, and I just couldn't do it. It's just sitting there in my Procreate, actually, just kind of vibing, you know? And that's just where it's ever gonna stay. It's never gonna be used. I hate it. I asked people for critique on it, and I never got any responses that I saw, actually, from, like, the Discord servers that I asked about it. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it. It's done. I'm not using it, but it's done. I never even posted the art piece that I used it on, because I didn't use the thing. I just kind of took my paintbrush and just, like, did some blobs, you know, as you do. So, no graphic design for me. No graphic design. But, anyway, I don't quite know what else to talk about other than, like, on Amino. I actually, I'm looking at my, loose talking points, and I wrote capitalism. And so I'm guessing that's talking about Amino coin commissions. I'm just gonna guess. I was on the CoinAdopts Amino and the, coin commissions Amino, as well as quite a few others. And I did commissions, and I sold, adopts. Believe it or not, I was that kind of 13-year-old. Well, I wasn't 13, I was 14, but, like, I still did that. Wow. I think I still have actually over 13,000 coins on Amino. I had Amino Plus. People paid a lot to, like, get my stuff, and it was kind of funny. But, you know, Amino capitalism, bro. That was how I spent my 7th and 8th grade, bro. That's how I spent it. It's so sad to think about. but I did. I did spend it doing that, and it's so fucking sad, man. Like, I am so tempted, actually, to just go on Amino and commission a bunch of people and just, like, give away all my coins, because I don't plan on using that app ever again. I think that's actually what I'm gonna do after I film this, is I'm just gonna be like, hey, I'm willing to commission a bunch of people because I want to get rid of all my coins. It's like, I only have 13,000 because I bid about 10,000 on a bid to commission, and I actually got a really cool art piece from it. It was a commission of my character Des, and oh my god, the piece was just so fucking beautiful. I have it as one of my playlist covers for Apple Music, since I have to use Apple Music whenever I don't have data. It's just the cover of the playlist, and I'm really happy about it because, like, it's such a pretty art piece. I love it. I don't actually remember the username, and I can't access Amino right now because this is where I'm recording my audio. But in the description, I think I'm going to find the username and actually write it out. But yeah, they were really cool. I might commission them again if I can find them. And just, like, say, hey, I'll pay you 13,000 if you draw one of my characters again. I'm leaving Amino for good and we're touching this app again. It's tempting. I'm looking at my notes, and none of them make any sense anyway. Like, the only one that made any sense was on engagement on Twitter versus Instagram. That was like, that's just what I wrote. And actually, going back to Artful and Amino, there's another app, I don't remember the name, Bubble something. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that either. I'm kind of iffy on it all. Like, I'm such in a place with Instagram now that I'm not sure if I want to go through the trouble trying to grow anywhere else. I might download Artful and post some art on there, like, just for the crack. But that's about it, I think. I'm also, like, running out of voice. You can't really tell, but my jaw's getting really tired. So I think I'm gonna stop talking now and go and edit this, because it's nearly half an hour of a recording of me rambling about social media, which is completely fair because social media is a whole thing. Oh, wait, actually, before I end, the last thing I want to talk about, which I forgot to write in my notes, was performative activism on social media, and how women in industry, like, more specifically Twitch, I know I don't stream on Twitch, but that doesn't mean I don't want to talk about it, are treated. Like, what the fuck? People say to support female streamers, support female content creators, and then they don't. They follow them, but do they ever watch their streams? Do they ever, like, engage with their content? No. That just doesn't seem to happen. And that may have just been what I've seen. But there's also the fact that there are a lot of kids on social media. There are a lot of younger people on it. And I shouldn't really be in a place of saying it, because I myself am a child, and I do post a lot about the situations going on in the world. I post a lot about Black Lives Matter. I post a lot about all that kind of stuff. And especially Stop Asian Hate. That's something I've been posting about, I believe, since the start of the pandemic now. I posted a lot about it on my story, more specifically, and retweeted a lot of stuff about it as well. Because I'm not sure where what to say. Because I'm mixed race, right? And I'm very scared for my Bangai, actually, to leave the house because of the fucking Asian hate crimes, because we live in a fairly conservative area. And so it's really scary. And the thing that happens is guilt tripping people into looking at a post when they're just trying to take a break for their mental health. Let them take a break for their mental health, for fuck's sake, please. Like, mental health struggle is something that I've been dealing with for actually this whole quarantine. I've been dealing with my deteriorating mental health, and Um, yeah, that was part of that break back in 2020. All those breaks I took was like, oh, my brain, it hurts, everything is fucked. And now I'm trying to balance it. I'm doing pretty well balancing it. But there are other people that might not have learned how to balance it, and guilt tripping them into looking at things and guilt tripping them into reposting things that like may trigger somebody or may scare them. It's kind of fucked. Like I will always advocate for using your platform, no matter how small it is, to help people. But these are children. These are fellow children, and that is something that I'm more on the fence about. And it's just, oh my god. Like, my sister unwillingly knows these things about the world. We actually don't watch the news in my family because of mental health reasons. We are a family of people who all have mental illness except for my neurotypical, as far as I know, dad. And so we don't watch the news because it'll spark an argument or it'll mess with someone's mental health. And more specifically, sparking the argument thing, because me and my mom, we argue with my dad a lot on politics and human rights. And that happens a lot. And that's not going to stop anytime soon. But that's why we don't watch the news. It's why my sister didn't know a lot about the world until this year, until quarantine. Like, my mom, she doesn't talk about COVID statistics around my sister, but she sure does talk about them around me. Because I have this obsession with knowing what's going on in the world. And that's why I have social media. That's why I'm so active on social media, because I have to know what's going on. Or I'm just going to be scared. I get scared from not knowing what's going on. And so the fact that there are a lot of people like my sister who are learning about these things unwillingly from social media, who are scared by it, it's scuffed. It's a fucked up situation that this is the way that they have to learn about it. It's fucked up, not gonna lie to you. It's why I avoided, I actually have my sister blocked from seeing my Instagram story, because I don't want her to have to learn about these things from things I post on Instagram. I want her to learn about these things verbally from me and from my mom. I want her to, like, learn them and not just see what I post. See what I retweet, see what I talk about on my Instagram story. That's not how I want her to have to learn these things. I feel like it is babying my sister a little bit. My sister's only a year younger than me. But it's just a fear I have of my sister having to find things out the same way that I did. Because I didn't, when I was younger, we actually watched Fox News. So I had a very warped view of the world. I had a very warped view of everything. Now, we don't even watch the news. So I'm not watching Fox News. And Fox News really warped my view of the world. And so when I made social media, when I found out about all this, I was like, wow, the media that my dad had me watch as a child skewed my view. Like, I am gay and a person of color. Why were we watching Fox News? Like, my dad is actually the person of color in my family, which is why it confuses me that he voted for Trump in 2016. Like, please, why did you do that? I'm confused on it. It's just a whole thing. Like, well, my sister found out that my dad voted for Trump because my grandma lived with us earlier in the year, and me and my grandma had a lot of good conversations on, like, we were watching the news. That was the first time I had watched the news in years. We had a lot of good conversations about that, and, like, conversations about social media and how finding out things through social media can affect your mental health. That was a conversation we actually had. It was a good conversation. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very good conversation. And just, I know my sister probably heard that conversation, and it makes me a bit nervous, not gonna lie, because I find out a lot of things, not through the news, but through TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, because that is where I spend all of my time. I don't actually watch the news because I don't have a place to watch it. We don't have cable, so I really don't watch the news anymore. And to find these things out from social media, it's kind of hard, even for me. And I think that's all I want to say on all of this, because, like, it's just fucking social media, bro. I think that's the whole summary of all of this, is social media and arts. That's just all I know at this point. I'm gonna make more of these. I'm gonna talk more about, like, weird habits and, like, hyperfixations. Like, I am definitely gonna make one just rambling about the Dream SMP at some point, because that's my current hyperfixation. But I think, yeah, that's all I really gotta say. I'm not too good at, like, outros. Yeah, that's what they're called. I had to think for a second. Yeah, that's about it. Fuck social media, bro. Fuck it.